As I walked out of the room, I could hear my brother down the hall. He must have been 11 years old. I walked into his room and I put my bags down. And he had his back against me. He was playing with this G.I. Joe figure. And I tapped him on the shoulder and I had my diploma. I said, "Look at this." And we were high-fiving each other. And he said, "Carlos, I wish I could have been there." And I looked at him and smiled. I wish you could have been there too. And he's looking at the diploma, reading it. Then he looks down at my bags and he says, "Carlos, what's with the bags?" And I feel this lump in my throat, and I could see him that he's starting to fill his eyes with tears. Before he could say anything, I tell him, "You know what? I'm going to be moving, but I'm going to be checking on you every day." And by that time, he starts bawling, and I'm trying to cover his little mouth. And the last thing I want is my dad to come in there and we start fighting. I just want a clean getaway. I don't want no drama. I just want to get out of there. He won't stop crying. I'm trying to cover his mouth. And he takes his hand off my hand and he whispers, "Take me with you. Take me with you." All those words. How I hate those words. Take me with you. Oh, I'm trying to not break down. I'm trying to be strong because I'm almost out of there. And I'm trying to calm him down. And all he's saying is, "Take me with you." And I really can't tell you how I calmed him down, but somehow I did. I just know I had to be strong and walk out of that room. And I got my bags and left. And as I come out the hall in the living room, there's my dad. And I had bags and I passed him by. I know he saw me. And I put him right in front of the TV. And I walked into the kitchen where my mom was at. My mom was cooking and I snuggled behind her and kissed her on the cheek. Startled, she turned around and she pulled out something from her apron. It was an envelope. She said, "Mijo, son, read this. Open it up and read it." And as I opened it up, money fell out. And I read it. And she said she was very proud of me for graduating. And that she loved me. But the word proud was written 10 times. And it was highlighted. Proud? I didn't even know how to respond to that. That man had never said anything like proud. The only thing he said, I was useless and no good. And nobody wanted me. Proud? I didn't know how to respond to that. And I hugged my mom. I remember telling her, "Mom, I gotta go. I gotta go." Because she knew if I'd stay there, that man was going to kill me. Or I was going to kill him. Either one. She knew that. She whispered back in my ear, "I know, Mijo, I know." We said our goodbyes and we hugged. And I walked out of that kitchen. By that time, as I walked out, I could feel my dad mad dogging me every step I took. As I reached for my bags, he stood up and said, "Where the hell do you think you're going?" And not missing a beat, I said, "Away from here." And then he just let on me. He started cussing me out, saying, "You're nothing. You're nobody. Who wants you?" And he kept on. And I just stood there hearing all this. I put my bags down. As soon as he was out of the air, I walked up right to him. I said, "I might not have nothing, but I'll never be a loser like you were to these kids. And if I ever hear you're abusing my mom or these kids, I will come back and kill you. I will kill you." And I turned my back on him. What was he going to do? Hit me? Let him try. I was as tall as he was. Probably even stronger. Puts a hand on me. Oh. So I slammed the door. I said, Carlos, don't look back. And I could hear him cussing me out in the background. I get in the front yard and we had this little gate, and I closed the gate. And we lived on this corner and we had the street on the side of the house. I had to go and catch my breath. I was hyperventilating. I put all my bags down. I couldn't believe it. I kept on saying, I can't believe it. I'm finally out of there. And that man will never lay a hand on me again. I could feel my heart pounding. I'm just trying to catch my breath. I just couldn't believe it. And as I come up, I'm on the side of the house where my little brother's room's at. I see my little brother with his hands on the window. And we lock eyes. And I can't hear him, but I could read his lips. And he's saying, take me with you. Take me with you. Those words, I can't get them out of my mind. Take me with you. Take me with you. But where am I going to take them? I'm only 17 years old. I can barely take care of myself. Which, let's say, 11-year-old. Take me with you. Take me with you. I have nightmares. I have nightmares of those words. It's the hardest thing I ever done. Me and him, we're cool now. But it's something we don't talk about. I can't imagine what that man did to him. I don't want to imagine. I don't even want to think about it. To tell you the truth, I can't forgive myself for leaving him there. And I never will. Well, I went to house, living with people. I didn't know what was worse. Living with strangers or living in that house. It was bittersweet. I just knew one thing, that I missed my mom, my younger brother, my little sister. Living with strangers, I felt alone. I was sad. I was depressed. I didn't know nothing about life. Going house to house, job to job. And one day I got a job and I got my own place. Things are starting to look up. And by that time, I lost contact with my family. But I had my own place. And then one day something happened that I never thought would happen to me. I met this young, beautiful lady and fell in love. Me, Carlos, fell in love. Pendejito, the stupid one, Blinky. And I knew it was love because when I was around her, I felt all these sensations. Talk about butterflies in your stomach. I felt like a stampede go right through my stomach, but it in a good way. And every time I was around her, I'd get like chicken skin. And the hair behind my neck would stand up. I thought I was allergic to her. But she said, "Oh, Carlos, you're so funny." I thought I was actually allergic to her, or something about her perfume. Because I really didn't know nothing about love. I was so innocent. Nobody ever talked to me about women. But she treated me so good. No one's ever treated me so good. I didn't know why. Well, a year later, she moved in. And 6 months after that, we got pregnant. Well, she did, but I think I had something to do with it. I was going to be a father. I was going to have a little boy. And mind you, I didn't have too much experience. But I thought, I don't want to be like that man. I'm going to love this little boy. I'm going to protect him. I'm going to encourage him. I'm going to support everything he does that I never got. She was the best thing first came into my life. When she had my little baby boy, they say when you hold a baby, you'll never be the same. From that moment on, my life was never the same. Looking at my flesh and blood, I never thought I was going to experience that. And she thought I was crazy because I had his baseball glove and his bat already. I knew he was going to be an athlete like his father. I was so happy. They're the best times of my life. Everything was perfect. I was in love, and I was a father now. But having the responsibility of supporting two other people was kind of hard on me. I wasn't ready for that. And I got to be honest with you, we had our money issues like every young couple did. We started getting arguments and fight. And I got a short temper. I started breaking things. And the cops had been to our house numerous times. Finally I said, I got to step out of that situation because I don't want my little boy to see all this. I've been there, done that. So I decided to leave. And for the second time in my life, I found myself away from my immediate family. And nowhere to go, nowhere to turn. I turned to the streets. Doing drugs. Hanging out with the wrong crowd. Drinking. It got so bad I had to carry a gun because of the wrong crowd I was hanging with. I remember one day coming to this local bar. It wasn't even 12 o'clock, but there I was ready to drink. Bartender, give me a drink. I just wanted to start drinking, forgetting about all my problems. Feeling sorry for myself. My pathetic life. And there weren't too many people in there because it wasn't even lunchtime yet. And I noticed 3 bikers and a little boy, and they were playing pool. This little boy was sitting in the chair drinking a Coke. Didn't give it much thought.